Game show day. I've always wanted to be Alex Trebek. I know Jesse's always wanted to be Pat Sajak. And then my friend Jack has always wanted to be Vanna White. And I don't have the thing ready. So here we go.
Could one of y'all pass the gosh darn rock? Hey yo, I'm trying, I ain't lying, and hosting this will be Brian.
Yeah.
Posting like Kobe Bryant,
Yeah.
flying to see the pie.
Yeah.
Hit the hezzy, we got Jesse, opinions get kinda messy. A fan of out of Letties, from football to racing jet skis. He goes silly when he go deep, sheesh, is Zach Zeman. Teaming up with Jack, we stack the whole team, man. Pass the rock, don't stop the shot clock.
Ooh.
Smack the slap shot, come on, now let's talk. Pass the, yo partner, pass the rock, for real.
I'm so worried about the cold open that I always forget about the thing. But second thing to name, when we play the intro next time, look at Zach in there. He has no beard and he looks like he's 12, unlike what all of TikTok thinks that he's 63. So welcome.
It may as well not be Zach.
It may as well not be. Jack, how's the weather in Spain today?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's been pretty much the entire time I've been here in the mid to low 60s, and that is like my sweet spot. It is wonderful. Yeah, I love it.
Is it just like California essentially?
California is a little bit hotter, a little, not much.
Oh,
but
so better California.
I mean, you could say that. I won't.
I'm a high 70s, low 80s kind of guy myself.
Oh, give me a sweatshirt and sunshine every day, and I'm good.
Exactly.
I want it a little colder, but sunshine. So, Jess, how's the weather in Toronto?
It's definitely not high 60s or high 70s. It's not too cold actually, but it's raining all day today. Pretty yuck outside.
All right. Well, yeah, it's like 80 degrees out here, although I haven't been outside because I've been working on content for Lost Tribe. So here we are. All right. It's our Thursday show. It's a lot of games. It's a lot of fun. The NFL free agency is still going on. There's a lot of, moves going on each and every day. We were all shocked by Calvin Ridley yesterday, which I'm sure we'll get to at some point during the show. But Jesse, take us. We're going to start with a little draft.
All right. So we had a lot of late signings the last couple of days. So let's draft a lineup of NFL free agency signings. So they had to have joined a new team in free agency, no re-signs and no trades. So Brian, you have the first pick, and we're going to do a quarterback, a running back, a receiver, a flex, and one defensive player.
Yeah, so the defensive player makes it really, really interesting, but I'm going to stick with an offensive player. This is a guy that I actually have in a keeper league that I'm 10 times more excited this year than I was thinking about keeping him on his previous team, and that's Saquon Barkley. So I'm going Saquon Barkley, number one. I think especially if my prediction of the tush push getting eliminated happens, he is going to be huge. I said Monday on the show, top 3 running back next year in fantasy. Give me Saquon.
That's a reach. No way. You're taking the deepest position first overall, Brian. Come on.
I am.
Yeah.
He's that good.
I'm going to play this a little bit more strategically because there's so many running backs that are free agents that have moved around. Like I'm going to get a good running back one way or another. What I'm not going to get if I don't take him right now is a good quarterback. So give me Kirk Cousins because he's by far the best guy on the list.
So do you take his Achilles now, or do you get his Achilles at the start of the regular season?
I don't know.
Let me just
I don't know if I want one-legged Kirk Cousins, but I'm assuming by the start of the season.
I finally heard a national talent, whatever, content person say that Kirk Cousins was a bad idea for the Falcons. I had not heard it anywhere, and I'm glad somebody finally said it because I just think this is a terrible move for the Falcons. They will be better. They won't get to any, beautiful spot like leading the NFC like some crazy people are saying. And he's 36 and with an Achilles injury, that would just scare me. And he's only ever won one playoff game. Sorry, I just had to get it's not about the Falcons even. It's just about the fact that I just think this is a crazy move that everybody thinks is like, oh, now the Falcons are a Super Bowl contender. Get out of here.
Whatever. So I'm going to take what the shallowest position is by far. Give me the best wide receiver signing of free agency, and I'll take Calvin Ridley. I don't actually think he's the best contract because it is a lot of money, but he's definitely the most talented wide receiver on the board, no question. So I'm going to lock him down, and then could go in a lot of directions here, but I'm gonna lock up running back, and I'm gonna take Josh Jacobs. I think he is the brightest future in the NFL. Outside of a lot of running backs, won the rushing title 2 years ago, new home in Green Bay. I think he's, besides Saquon, the best running back available.
All right. Well, I can wait at least a round on running back now that you guys have yours, although the flex spot is still in play, so that's interesting.
Yep.
But I think I'm going to go for a defensive player here, which is my favorite overall signing of free agency, Christian Wilkins to the Raiders. I think he's going to be fantastic for them, and I think that he's by far the best option in that category, so I'm going to snag him here.
I like the Wilkins pick. I thought maybe there was a chance he was coming back to me. That was going to be my other number 1 overall pick. So good job taking him. So it's back to me. I'm not wasting my time at quarterback. I'm not wasting my time yet at wide receiver. I think I'm going to go. There's a lot of people that sign back with their old teams. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of re-signs.
So defense, I have a couple of options, but I don't think either of you are really going to jump to that. So I think I'm going back to running back. The question is for my flex. So you got Eckler, you got Henry, and you got Pollard. I think those are the 3 that I'm looking at with Jacobs off the board. Washington's going to be a disaster. I don't know what's going on in Tennessee. So go ahead and give me Derrick Henry in my flex. I know the man is getting up in age, but it's the Baltimore Ravens and a running game. Come on, give me Derrick Henry.
All right. So don't you get another pick?
Yeah, you got one more.
Oh, I do. I get 2 picks in a row. Now I'm going to be forced to do my IDP. So I'm going to go with a little under the radar signing, but I think is huge. And I really wish the Saints would have had the money to get this guy. I'm going to go Patrick Queen. So he goes from dude.
You lied, Brian. We missed everything after you said, I'm going to go Patrick Queen.
Perfect. So then I'll just re-say what I was going to say. He is such a Pittsburgh dude. Like, this is such a great signing. I know, Jack, you got to be excited about this. I saw him play at LSU. He was the quarterback of the defense when they won the national championship in 2019. I love this signing. Wish the Saints could have done it.
Oh, yeah, I'm fired up. He's such a perfect fit. And it's so rare that you see someone go from the Ravens to the Steelers.
Yeah.
But, like, to see a guy like that go from the Ravens to the Steelers, it just makes it so much better. So, yeah, I'm fired up about that one. It's going to be nice to see him in black and gold. All right. Okay, moving on. I think I'm going to go double running back here. I think that's the move. I'm going to completely punt receiver because that position is so bad in free agency. So let me get the 2 best guys available. Now, who do I?
You only get 1 pick.
Oh, you're right. I do only get 1 pick here.
He tried to sneak it in though. That was good. I like it.
All right. So what's my biggest priority? There could be Tony Pollard is definitely a possibility, but I think Spears is going to eat into his carries. Eckler is a possibility, but he's kind of washed. DeAndre Swift, I like. Actually, I think I'm going to go Aaron Jones. I think he's going to get the biggest share of carries with his new team with the Minnesota Vikings. I just need his hamstrings to stay healthy, but I think as long as he's on the field, he'll be pretty good for them.
And they have no quarterback, so he's going to get the ball.
That's a good pick. He's actually not on the free agency tracker that I was looking at. I don't know why he's not on it, but that's a good pick there. So I've got a receiver and a running back. I got a lot of options that I could go with, but you already have a quarterback, Jack. And of the rest of them, I don't think that there's that much of a drop-off based on whatever Brian takes. And you guys also both have a defensive player. So I think I'm going to take Saquon's off the board, Jacob's off the board, Henry off the board. Dang, this is, Austin Eckler is interesting, but I think Brian Robinson is honestly still going to be the RB1 there. And I don't know how that's what's going to look. Ooh, this is tough. You know what? Might be a crazy pick, but give me DeAndre Swift. I'm going to take him and put him at my flex spot. I know that they do have a lot of other running backs on the team with Roschon and Khalil Herbert still, but Khalil Herbert is a free agent next year, and they're both still on rookie deals. So I think if they pay Swift, they're going to use him. And then on the way back, Now I take either defense or QB. But you guys both have defense, so I guess I'll just take my pick of the quarterbacks now and give me Gardner Minshew. He's going to lead this team to victory with the Las Vegas Raiders. Love that signing for them. Great culture fit. Gardner Minshew. Minshew Mania.
All right.
He's going to own Las Vegas, by the way, culturally.
Yeah.
Like that's just
everybody in
a
Vegas
great
is going to be
endorsement.
rocking the stash and the jorts like all the
Fu
time.
Manchu. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. So we're definitely going with another running back here. I think it's got to be either Pollard or Eckler. I think those are my two best choices. Now, which one do I think that the other team's already existing running back is going to take more carries away from? I feel like Pollard will get the ball more, but if we're playing PPR, Eckler is still going to be a PPR machine. I think I'm going to go Pollard. I think he's going to get the ball more. So overall, I think that'll lead to better numbers. So give me Tony Pollard.
Nice. All right. So I get 2 picks. I got to go wide receiver and quarterback in some order. When you look at the wide receivers, it gets real thin real quick. You got Darnell Mooney. You got Gabe Davis. Are there other options? Mac Hollins.
Devin Duvernay.
Beast, and Devin Duvernay. So I think I'm going to go here. I hate to choose a Falcon. Gabe Davis was probably the best receiver of this group, but he's so inconsistent. Darnell Mooney's a guy that could be sneaky in Atlanta and get, everybody else is going to be fighting for those reps, for those catches or whatever. Plus, they haven't had him in years. But no, I can't quit you, Gabe Davis. I'm going to go Gabe Davis with the Jaguars. I don't know what happened with Jack, but he couldn't deal with that pick. Give me Gabe Davis. And then for the quarterback, this is like the in memoriam section of the Oscars, right? I'm going with my man, Jameis Winston. I loved you in New Orleans. You never, ever got the chance that you deserved. The first year after Breeze left, you were 5-2 when Tampa on purpose tried to hurt you. It worked. They tore your ACL because they knew you were taking us to the promised land. So I'm going Jameis Winston.
Saints therapy session?
It is. It is. Just for Jameis Winston because he deserved so much better than he got here. And he was still loyal up until this year, which obviously he had to get out. And I think he's going to play a significant amount in Cleveland because I just think eventually they're going to see that the guy they got at the helm is not dedicated to that team, and that team is ready to win now. So give me Jameis Winston.
Little shocked you didn't go Russell Wilson, but to each their own.
I wanted to do my in memoriam for Jameis Winston.
All right. Well, I have destroyed my camera in the process of being so frustrated that I missed out on Gabe Davis. But I guess I'm stuck with Darnell Mooney now. That's like the only option left at wide receiver. I really convinced myself into thinking that Brian was going to take a Falcon. I don't know what was going through my brain. But yeah, Darnell Mooney it is. I think Gabe Davis is a significantly better option than he is. There's just too many mouths to feed in Atlanta right now. But I still think Mooney's a decent pick and definitely the best one left. So I'll take him.
Well, and Gabe Davis has the better quarterback.
I think Davis is going to have a good year in Jacksonville. Now that Ridley's gone for sure, and it's just him and Kirk now, I think that it'll be a nice split there. I get to finish this off with the defensive player, and I'm going to take what I think is the best signing of free agency, maybe outside of Christian Wilkins, and that's Danielle Hunter going to the Houston Texans on a big deal, playing across from Will Anderson. That's going to be a really fun D-line to watch. So, Danielle, you are my final pick, and I feel very, very good about my squad with Gardner Minshew leading the way.
Dude, Houston's going to be super scary this year.
Yeah.
They got a legit running back. They could use one more wide receiver if they're, looking into the draft, which we still have the draft to worry about.
T. Higgins. Or T.
Higgins, or both. And then, Danielle Hunter is huge. So that team's going to be
They're not going to poach both of the Bengals skill players, Joe Mixon and T. Higgins. That would be
pretty wild.
Pretty wild. All right, let's move on. Who do you think won? Let us know in the comments. I think it was a pretty even across the board, I think. I think Jack has obviously the best quarterback, but definitely the worst receiver. Brian's got a pretty level squad throughout, and I've got probably maybe the worst. You know what? I was going to say maybe the worst quarterback, but we'll see how Minshew does this year. So speaking of free agency, our next topic is going to include quite a few dollars. So besides Patrick Mahomes, name the 6 quarterbacks with the highest cap hits in the league.
Okay. Huh. Well, I think one of them, I think the highest total value of a contract belongs to Justin Herbert. So I would think he's on that list.
He is actually not.
Really?
Nope.
Wow.
I think it's got to be somebody. What about Stafford? Somebody older.
Stafford is number 5 with 49 million.
Really? How is that possible? Oh my God. All right. How about Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson is not on the list.
Wow.
Really?
No.
He just signed a huge contract.
It's not. It can't be.
His cap hit is only his cap hit is only 32 million.
Yes.
So it's lower than a few guys on this list.
All right. What about is it Josh Allen?
Nope.
Aaron Rodgers?
Nope.
What?
Not Raj. There's some young guys and some old guys. There's
what about what's his name in Cleveland?
Oh,
Why can't I think of his name?
the massage therapist.
Yes. God, why can't I think of his name?
I'm just not going to say this.
the worst
Deshaun
deal.
Watson. I just looked it up. Deshaun Watson. I just
Deshaun
could not
Watson.
think. I was like, Jameis Winston is on my brain there.
So yes, Deshaun Watson is number 1 with 64 million.
Wow.
Because it's guaranteed. Yeah.
So much money.
Does Russell Wilson count against the Broncos?
He absolutely does because they took a $53 million cap hit on him, which is number 3 on the list.
So we have 1, 3, and 5?
Yes.
So who would be second? No, it can't be him.
Who are you thinking?
In the back of my head, I'm like, it just can't be Derek Carr. I won't allow it to be true. It's not Kirk Cousins, is it?
No, it's not. It's not Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is 25 million, which is 12th for context.
Yeah.
I actually think it could be Derek Carr.
It's not Derek Carr.
No.
His is only 12 million. His
is low. I mean, low compare. It's 12
now,
million
if you look
higher
at
than it
Taysom
should
Hills, look at
be.
Taysom
12
Hills.
million
it might
higher
be
than it
different.
should be, but it's still low. Danny Dimes, he got a big one.
Yeah. Danny Dimes is number 6 with 47 million, which is more than Patrick Mahomes, actually, by the way. But it's
That's a weird list.
yeah, it's just cap hit specifically is the way I guess the contract is listed. But so yeah, you're missing number 2 and number 4. We talk about both of these guys a fair amount on our show.
Huh. Kyler
Murray, 51 million, number 4. So you're just missing number 2. A lot of money for a guy who does not play that much.
Is it Jalen Hurts?
No, Jalen Hurts is pretty far down, only 13 million. That's crazy when you think that Daniel Jones, his cap hit is like 4 times the amount of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even higher than Mahomes, right?
Yeah. Higher than Mahomes, higher than Lamar, higher than Allen, higher than Burrow, all of them.
Who else has gotten a crazy bag for no reason?
This guy's cap hit is 59 million. He signed a 4-year, $160 million contract with this team.
You almost gave it up.
I almost just said the team I was reading it. With 126 million of it guaranteed and even more. Yeah. So his cap hit is a lot.
God, why is my mind just blank?
Cleveland, Cincinnati.
I'm doing the same thing.
Did I guess Joe Burrow?
You didn't, but it's not Joe Burrow. This guy was in the playoffs this year.
Okay.
Come on, fellas.
Well, it can't be Dak.
It
There's no
absolutely
way.
can be Dak Prescott. He's
Really?
number
Oh,
2.
I
with
totally crossed
59
him off.
million.
Me too.
Like I thought of him and I was like, there's no way.
It is Dak
Really?
Prescott.
Wow.
Yep.
He was
He's
pretty
all
good in
up
the
front
playoffs.
about getting a new deal, and he already has a big deal. I didn't realize he was being paid that much.
So his cap hit just specifically this year is 59 million. For some reason last year it was 26, next year is 36, but this is when the cap hit really hits. So that's also could be a reason why you don't see the Cowboys making too many moves. So Dak Prescott, number 2, last spot on the list. Good job.
Devin Bush to the Browns just now, by the way.
Oh, I just saw that he was visiting there. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving on. That was all right. Let's mark the time. All right, so we have some NBA discussion to get to now. So, who should be the MVP? Who should be the NBA MVP? Jokic, Shea, Luka, or other? Brian, the floor is yours.
Well, it's definitely not Luka. It is definitely between Jokic and Shea, and I just think that by the end of the year, Denver's going to be the number 1 seed. They seem to have cared for their seed earlier this year than they did last year. Last year, I think they were happy to be wherever and then make it happen. What Oklahoma City has done has been super impressive, but I think in the end, it's not enough to push him over Jokic. I know it's the boring pick, but to me, it goes Jokic, Shea, Luka, and then the field, whoever else you want to throw Tatum in there, you want to throw Giannis in there, whatever.
Yeah. To me, I have a lot of respect for what Shea has done this year, but I think it's Jokic and Luka. I think those are the top 2. And part of me wants to give it to Luka, but I look at what Jokic has done, the consistency in his night in, night out basis. He's averaging 26, 9, and 12 as a center. We're desensitized to triple doubles because of Russell Westbrook, and his peak OKC days. But the numbers that Jokic is putting up this year, nearly averaging a triple double as a center, is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how it's not Jokic. I know it's boring, but this man's really about to be a 3-time MVP. He's a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame at this point. Things are with Jokic are progressing so rapidly. I can't wrap my head around it. But I think it's Jokic again.
All right. So I think the problem is that the West is so congested that when you bring in the 1 seed argument, like the Nuggets are the 1 seed today, but there's 2 teams within 1 game of them as well, right?
Yep.
And the Timberwolves and the Thunder as well. And not to mention, I know the Mavericks are the 8th seed, which is pretty far down. It's only an 8-game difference between the 1st seed and the 8th seed, which is, it's not a ton, and it's not insignificant, but that's a smaller difference between the 1st and the 2nd seed in the East. The Celtics have a 9. The Celtics have a 9.5 game lead on 2nd place in the Eastern Conference. And then if you look even from 2nd place down to 8th place in the Eastern Conference as well, is like 7 games. It's all very tight together. So if somebody else, let's say Donovan Mitchell was having as good enough season to be MVP and the Cavs are the 2 seed in the East, does that really matter considering they're still 8 games back with the 1st seed, even though, their record is better than the Mavericks by 3-4 games, whatever, but it's like a couple games in the 82-game season. So does seeding really matter that much with all of the parity in the conferences? I personally don't think so. And that's why I think Luka should be the MVP of the league. I think that Jokic, sure, if Jokic gets it, he deserves it. I don't think that there's any way you can argue Jokic doesn't deserve it, but he's also won it twice. And I know that voter fatigue is like a stupid reason not to give it to someone, but I really do think that like Luka is just so valuable to this Mavericks team that genuinely without him, they would probably be a top 3 pick in the lottery next year. And he makes them so much better. Look at Daniel Gafford, look at PJ Washington, look at Derek Lively, look at Derek Jones, look at Dante Exum, all of these guys kind of having great seasons and, being important pieces when he's on the floor. So I just think if the only argument is, well, the Nuggets are the 1st seed or there's a disparity in games, I don't think it really matters that much because they're both going to be in the playoffs. And at the end of the day, like what's a couple games across the whole season when guys miss so much time anyway?
It's definitely not the only. I hear you. It's definitely not the only reason. I think for Luka to win it, they have to get into the playoffs, like without the play.
Yeah,
because being the 8th seed, I think would be a tough tough mark to get.
They're
him.
one game
Did
back
he
of the
really-
Pelicans. They're one game back of
1.5.
right?
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
and a half.
Yeah. And so, no, I totally agree with that. And I mean, that doesn't, it doesn't matter for the division, but it does matter for being in the playoffs or not. But I think you could say the same thing. If Jokic wasn't on Denver, they might not be a playoff team either, that because of how he makes everybody better. So and that's the beauty of it, is we get to see where they are at the end. What I will say, and this is just like a little inside basketball, which I know is not the how you say that, but the way the NBA gives assists now is sort of insane. Doing stats for the Pelicans, there are times where I'm like, okay, the guy took 3 dribbles after the pass, made his own move, and they're like, why didn't you give an assist there? And I'm like, what are we talking about? So while we have seen a lot more on the side of all these stats and more triple doubles and whatever, I do think the thresholds have come way down on what an assist is. Obviously, points, you either scored or you didn't. Blocks, you either blocked or you didn't. Assist is very judgment call, and sometimes it's kind of crazy what they do give. But they're giving it to everybody. It's not like Jokic is getting it and Luka's not, or this player is getting it and somebody else is not. But I want to comment on that and give people a little insight.
And I don't think that the only reason people think Jokic should win is because of the seeding either. Like, he is a 2-time MVP and the reigning Finals MVP for a reason. But also, a lot of the dialogue I see online is just so much about the seeding and where they are in the standings. And tomorrow, Dallas could be the 5 seed and the Nuggets could be the 4 seed or the 3 seed. Like, if Denver loses a game and the Mavericks win 2, they're back to back and facing each other in the first round. Like, it's that close. And if Dallas gets to 5 by the end of the season in the next 17 games, I think there's a totally different argument because they're in the playoff rather than playing. And they've won 4 straight, and they're looking pretty good now and pretty healthy.
Yeah, but to that point, Brian, that's why that seeding argument is so ridiculous. I mean, like, the fact that if the season ends and they're the 5 seed, they're probably only 1 or 2 games difference than what they would be to be in the play.
Yeah.
So to hold that as like a big criteria, we actually got into the playoff is,
Well, but it talks about how you've led your team to a specific spot. There is an MVP part of that.
You look at the record though, and the Mavericks have the same record as the Knicks, who are 4th in the Eastern Conference, right? Yeah. And the Knicks are 13, that's hard. The Knicks are 13, like they're 13 games back of the Celtics, and they're 4th, and the Mavericks are 8 games back, and they're 8th. So it's like,
no,
it really depends where they play.
Every time I look at the standings, I'm like, shit, the Pelicans would be 3rd or 4th in the East rather than, they're 5th in the West, but that difference is very different.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's very even no matter who gets it. I personally want it to be Shea as the Canadian, and I also put $15 on him to win it at the start of the season for like $300 payout. So I really hope it hits, but we'll see if it does. So anyway, moving on. Let's go on to our next trivia for the day. So, can you guess the 20 longest double-double streaks in a single season? Now, 20 might sound like a lot, but there's a lot of repeats on here, and you'll be pleasantly surprised at a few of them.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, when I think of double-doubles, I think one of the first guys that comes to mind, maybe because he's in so many of our trivias, but to me is Domantas Sabonis.
The man who inspired this trivia, because he currently has 48 in a row, which is currently 16th all time. So Domantas Sabonis, the inspiration for this list, number 16.
Well, I know LeBron's got 10 points in like a billion straight games. So let me go LeBron.
LeBron James is surprisingly not on this list. One of the few lists in NBA history that he's not on.
Yeah, he's not. He never really gets to the double-double threshold. He always has.
If this was like the longest 10 points and 8 rebounds or 8 assists streak, he'd have like 300 probably.
Like his favorite stat line is like 25, 7, and 8. Like he's always like close to that range, but not quite there.
Yeah, this is mostly. I will say this is mostly, if not all, big men.
Yeah,
right. That's where I was going next.
Yeah.
Jokic, I think, is on this list. He has to be.
He's actually not. So the shortest amount is 44. And so Sabonis is 48. So you have to have at least 44 on the list.
48 is number one.
No, it's 16. Number one is pretty high.
Gotcha. Kareem.
Kareem is on the list with 51. He is number 14.
All right. Well, I mean,
He's only on it once.
Yeah, he's only on it once, surprisingly.
Yeah. I mean, my only concern about guessing this next guy is whether or not rebounds were a thing when he played. But anytime we talk about stats, it's Will Chamberlain.
Will Chamberlain is number one with 81 in a row. And the slouch didn't do 82 because he only played 81 games that season. He's also number two. He's also number 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13, and 18.
Oh my.
So you knock off quite a few with Will Chamberlain. He had streaks 81, 80, 80, 79 twice, 66, 56, 52, and 46. So Will Chamberlain is pretty much over half this list, I think.
Rebounds were a stat when they still had the peach baskets, by the way.
I don't know. That is like 6 or 7 full seasons of double doubles. That's insane.
Yeah, he did over 79 5 times. There is one other guy in NBA history to do 79, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Who else?
I'm gonna stay with this big man theme and go Olajuwon.
No, Hakeem is surprisingly not one of the big men on this list. There's a lot of like fairly old, like 50s, 60s type guys too.
Yeah, I was thinking Bill Russell.
Actually, no. Surprisingly not. In his 11 years of championships, did not have that many double-doubles in a row.
All right. Let's go 50s, 60s, and LSU guy, Bob Pettit.
No. Bob Pettit, not on the list.
Oh, boy. I feel like I'm never going to get any of these 50s.
Me, I don't even know if
I'll give you some hints.
You have a better chance than me.
Okay, this guy, I'll give you a hint. This guy, one of the ones on the list with the most besides Wilt, was selected, this is an NBA team, by the Chicago Packers. In 1961.
Oh, well, then it's got to be.
He was the first overall pick in 1961. He played for the Chicago Packers and then the Zephyrs, Bullets, Knicks, Pistons, Hawks, and the New Orleans Jazz in 1974.
All right. Just because I heard Bullets, I'm going to say Elvin Hayes.
Elvin Hayes is not who I was talking about, but he is number 9, and he is also number 11 with 55 and 60. So well done.
I have no idea who the 1974 New Orleans Jazz center was.
Shame on you.
Gail Goodrich. That's my Jazz guess.
Nope. This guy was also the 1962 Rookie of the Year. Great 14-year career. Averaged 20 points, 14 rebounds for his career.
Oh, my God.
I was never aware of a Chicago Packers team ever.
Yeah, that just
like I've heard of some old.
They became the Baltimore Bullets. I actually never knew that was the team.
Chicago Packers sounds like.
I knew the Baltimore Bullets. You know, they moved to Washington, and then were the Washington Bullets. But
all right, wait. Who else played for the Bullets? I think the only other guy I've heard of is Wes Unseld.
That's who I was going to say. But he was
not
70s.
Here. So this guy's first name also starts with a W, but it's not Wes. It's an
Willie.
Older type.
An older type name, Winston.
Yeah.
This is a separate type of content now.
Why did I almost just say Willie McCovey? I'm losing my mind.
Because you love the Giants.
It's his first name is Walt.
It can't be Walt Frazier. He was never.
No,
it's not.
I have no idea.
Walt. Oh,
do we know this? Like, is this a name you know?
I might have it. This is a wild name, but it came into my head. Is it Walt Bellamy?
It is Walt Bellamy with 79 double-doubles in a row.
Never heard that name ever.
The
1962 Rookie of the Year and first overall pick in 1961 is number 5 with 79, and he is also the last guy on this list with 44.
That's what you get for staring at basketball reference for no reason.
Yeah. You've got 4 names left, but 5 spots. So there is one guy who is on here twice.
All right.
Shaq?
Nope, not Shaq. You've got one guy who's actually still in the league, and everyone else is old.
Double guy that's still in the league.
Can't be Jonas Valanciunas, could it?
No. This guy has 53 double-doubles in a row and is still in the NBA today and still plays. He gets minutes.
How about Kevin Love?
Exactly who I was talking about.
Awesome.
Kevin Love.
Awesome.
So that is your last current player. So you're currently missing number 7 with 70 in a row. And he's actually the only non-big man left on this list.
Okay. So
It's not Michael Jordan, is it?
no.
Or Karl
No.
Malone?
Nope. This guy was a Laker.
Elgin Baylor.
Elgin Baylor with 70 double-doubles in a row.
Elgin always shows up on these lists.
Yeah, it really honestly makes you show how like underrated. And everyone's saying we done with the 90s, we done with the 80s, you know. Look up some Elgin Baylor highlights. Number 7. All right, 2 names left. One
I don't think he played in the 90s or the 80s, by the way.
No, but everything before that, people are saying
You could still
is
be
in the
done with
list.
those 2 decades and no Elgin Baylor.
No, we
I
still
think we're
support
done
the
with
50s and 60s.
I think we've been done with the decades before the 80s without even saying it. We don't even need TikTok.
Yeah. All right, so your last 2 players, one of them drafted by the Cincinnati Royals and then played for the San Francisco Warriors and then the New York Knicks.
Okay, no, never mind. I was gonna say Oscar Robertson, but that's the guy I always think of with Cincinnati.
He played with Oscar
Willis
Robertson.
Reed? Was it Willis Reed?
It's not Willis Reed.
All right, Royals, Warriors, Knicks.
I don't think I've gotten any right since Kareem. Just
He played with Oscar Robertson, Wayne Embry, and Jack Twyman.
Is this a connections? What is this?
I don't know, man.
God. All right.
He shares the name with Laker great. First name, at least. There's lots of Lakers.
So many things.
He shares the name with the logo.
Jerry.
All right. I don't know if that helps me any.
No, I don't know another Jerry. Other
Jerry.
The
than
last one is Jerry Lucas.
Oh, I've heard that name. I was never.
And there is one more name on the list who I think you could get. He's number 15 and number 19.
Okay. Old, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Not Patrick Ewing.
Nope, this guy was an MVP. This guy,
How about Bill Walton?
no. This guy's actually a multiple-time MVP. Finals MVP, NBA champion in 1983.
Okay.
Oh,
Moses
Malone.
Yeah.
Moses Malone with 50 and with 44 are the final 2 spots on this list.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jerry Lucas, the last one, just couldn't quite get it. You guys are so close.
Yeah.
This close.
I was impressed. I was impressed that 83, and you were like, you went right to it. I mean, that I know those championship years, but I was impressed.
Yeah, I've done the Sporkle that has like every NBA champion. I've done that way too many times.
We should do that on the show one day. That would be fun to go through.
Yeah.
Like from my birth to today.
I just thought that trivia was funny because Wilt Chamberlain, it's like, whoa, 20 is a lot. And then you say Wilt, and it's like when you play Sporkle and you type in MJ and like 17 boxes get filled.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also 83 also sticks out because the 80s are all Lakers and Celtics except for that year, which is Sixers. Like that's the one year that sticks out.
Yeah, it's true.
Now you got me going through them in my head. Like, are they really all?
I don't know if it's all of them, but it's like it's just about all either Lakers or Celtics.
89 was probably Pistons. 89. And
89 was the Pistons. 89 and 90.
But you're right. Other than that, you're probably right. 80, 81, and 82, I'd have to think about. But
Yeah, I think at least one of those is Celtics or Lakers.
All right, well, that's not what we're doing now anyway. So our next and
sounds
final,
like we're doing it.
Our next and final trivia of the day. So there's recently been a pretty long streak of this, so that's why we're doing it today. So can you name the 5 players with the most consecutive field goals made in the play-by-play era? So
what's the play-by-play era, by the way?
Technically, since, I don't know, 1996.
You mean the shot clock era?
That's what David, our NBA guy, said in the P by P era. So,
I have no idea what that means.
I've never heard that term.
It's since the NBA started tracking play-by-play data since 1996.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so relatively recent, guys. Well,
But I mean, I could say the shot clock era if you want. I think isn't that the same thing? Wasn't the shot
No.
clock also?
no, shot clock was way older than that.
How
I mean,
shot
when I was a
old?
kid, there was a shot clock.
yeah, the shot clock was like the 80s.
Oh, 54. No, everyone on this list is pretty recent.
Can you imagine how boring basketball was before a shot clock?
Oh my god,
Like,
yeah, you can just hold the ball the whole game.
It's just terrible. Yeah. Anyway, can you tell me the number? Like, what's the number of?
Well, I mean, I know the guy that this list was inspired by, so I can throw that out there, and he might be the number one answer. So Daniel Gafford has been on a ridiculous streak of these right now. So I don't know what his number is though.
So since 1996, Daniel Gafford is number one with 33 in a row and counting. At the time of this, it was 33. He plays tonight as well. We'll see if he can break the record. The all-time record is 35 by Wilt Chamberlain, but that was not in the play-by-play era since 96. So Wilt is number one technically at 35, but in this era, Daniel Gafford is number one.
That just proves this is a dumb record if Daniel Gafford has it.
You try making 33 shots in a row in an NBA game.
No, I agree. It's not easy, and that's why he probably passes up layups that he's worried he might miss.
Yeah,
They've won every game since he started doing this, by the way. So maybe it does
4
work.
in a row.
No, there's definitely it's got to be players that are.
It's a funky list. It's a funky list.
Like Andre Drummond.
No, but like exactly in that vein.
Yeah, like that feels like a really like that type of player.
Yeah. Think Andre Drummond, but Western Conference.
Andre Drummond, but Western Conference.
Yeah. Like who's the Western Conference equivalent of Andre Drummond?
Huh.
Same career, like pretty much exactly.
DeAndre Jordan.
Exactly. You are here with me. Number 5 at 20 in a row.
That's awesome.
He is,
Yeah.
Great rebounder, never really did much, and now is kind of a veteran on another team. Happy DJ.
20 in a row is 5th.
20 is 5th. First is 3rd, 33rd. However, everybody else is actually 20, 21, and 22. Nobody else has close to 30.
Mm-hmm.
So Gafford actually shattered the modern record by like 11.
Wow. All right. I feel like it's more players like that though.
Yeah, there's another one who's no longer
Charles
in the
Barkley
league.
or something.
So no, all 3 of these players left. So 2 of them are currently playing, and one of them retired like a year ago.
How about Hassan Whiteside?
Not Hassan Whiteside. And actually, this guy, the last guy, he didn't retire. He's just not in the NBA, but he is playing basketball in a different league.
Oh, Dwight Howard.
No, that's actually a good guess, but it's not Dwight Howard.
Ennis Cantor or Ennis Freedom.
No, it's not Ennis Freedom.
Neither are right.
Yeah,
one guy is in the Eastern Conference, and this year starting.
Really? Okay.
None of these guys are superstars. I'll give you that.
Jared Allen.
No, but
That's
very
a good guess.
similar, and was actually a teammate of Jared Allen's.
Claxton?
Nick Claxton with 21 is number 3.
Wow.
Nice.
All right.
Good snipe. So the number 2 on the list with 22 currently plays for the Windy City Bulls, actually. That was a recent thing. He actually signed with them. He signed with the Chicago Bulls this season and then was waived and then joined the Windy City Bulls.
Signed with the Chicago.
I didn't realize that was their G League team, and so I thought you were just saying the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's their.
Wait, Huh.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when
Brian,
you
this
say
guy was a
old-
Pelican in 2019. Power forward.
Okay, this could be completely wrong, but I have an idea. Is it Greg Monroe?
No, but a similar thought. Like,
Right, he was a
That is
Pelican
a
at one
great
point
guess.
too, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
This guy was
And I think he
drafted
was
by
a
the
Bull.
Nets, played for the Jazz, played for the Pelicans, and then the Thunder.
Derek Favors.
Derek Favors, number 2 with 22. Wow. Brian's just a spectator for this list. So
I am. This is dumb.
all right. Well, it's going to get even dumber because number 4 is a current player, and I'll give you a hint. It is a rookie.
What?
Yeah.
So
it's not Wemby, if you're wondering.
No, I
Yeah.
couldn't be.
But he actually has some relation to Wemby.
Koulibaly?
No, okay. I realize it's a bad hint.
Yeah,
it's not Bilal, but recently has had relation to Wemby in the NBA.
Huh. Recently,
I was actually shocked.
Who was the guy that
on the
dunked
list.
over Wemby like 2 weeks, like last week or the week before?
I don't
Good
remember.
question.
That's the answer.
That's
I
definitely
don't
the
remember
answer.
who it was.
It's absolutely the answer. Is the guy that dunked on Wemby.
I don't remember it. I have no recollection of this.
He's on the
It wasn't
Warriors.
Scoot.
A rookie on the Podziemski?
No, it's actually.
There's no way Podziemski dunked.
I don't know
on
why. That's the only rookie I could think of. I don't know.
No, it's the other rookie on the. Is their second round pick of the Warriors?
Who'd they take in the second round? It's got to be a big.
I'll give you his college. You went to Indiana for 4 years.
Oh, Trace Jackson Davis.
Trace Jackson Davis is 4th all time with 20, and it was earlier this season.
That's
So
insane.
shout out those guys. Great list, absolutely great list. Thank you, shout out David for that one. Brian, if you have to go, it's currently 5.
Yep.
But Jack and I can do this connections together.
All right. See you. I've been totally useless anyway, so
Yeah, the last like 3 segments you could have left.
Oh,
that's
man.
all right. Great jokes though. Hey, I knew somebody dunked on Wemby. Thank you very much.
You did.
Yes,
No,
you
I
actually.
wouldn't say that without you.
Yeah, I wouldn't have given you the clue without it. So,
Yep.
well done.
Thanks. All right.
All right. See you.
That was funny. All right, let me get this open. So,
All right.
that's why I can do this. Probably like that. That looks good.
Okay.
All right. Let's play today's Look Connections. So we got a lot of interesting players on here. Let's show the names real quick, just so we know who we're working with.
Yeah, I was about to say there was like a face or two on there that I did not recognize.
I did not recognize Spud Webb's face or Nate Thurmond, to be honest.
Okay. Well, I'm immediately seeing Spud Webb, Muggsy Bogues, and Nate Robinson are all tiny. So like,
yeah. Also, winning dunk
IT.
contests. Winning dunk contests, though. Oh, true.
Yeah, no, and there's 4. I mean, the 4 of them have to be.
This is probably under 6 feet or like 5'10".
Yes, like under 5'10", I think.
True. I mean, Muggsy was 5'3". I think Isaiah's like 5'10". Yeah.
No, I know Isaiah's might be like 5'9" or 5'8". Like he's small.
Let's run it. It's got to be a thing.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Players under 6 feet.
Oh,
all right.
okay.
I mean,
yeah.
Well, Dame is close to that though. He's like 6'1", maybe.
He's not
So
under.
then
He's definitely not under.
We also got a lot of tall guys. So you got Taco, you got Manute. It could be a block. You got Wemby, and you got I don't know who's taller between Hakeem. Who is Alvin Robertson?
Nate Thurmond was huge, I think.
Who is Alvin Robertson?
I honestly don't really know. Like that's a name I've heard, but that's about it.
Maybe these guys are all 7'4" and above.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nate Thurmond was huge.
Well, Wemby's like 7'4", Taco's like 7'6", Manute was
Yeah.
like 7'7". Yeah, all right, Nate Thurmond, hopefully. No, but it's one away. So
yeah, it's definitely those 3. I don't. Could it be
who the hell is Alvin Robertson?
David Robinson was pretty big. I don't think he was 7'4", but like,
No,
could it be like players over 7'2"? Like I think because
Joe Harris that tall. I'm surprised that it wasn't that. I mean, Nate Thurmond, how tall is he? 6'11". Okay, so he's actually not that tall.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
David Robinson has a quadruple double though. I feel like to do that and was defensive player of the year, like he's probably
No. He was huge. He was at
like,
least like 7'2".
Who's taller between him and Hakeem?
David Robinson, I think.
All right, let's run it.
Pretty sure.
No. Okay, still one away. We only have 2 lives left though, so maybe we should look elsewhere for a sec.
Right.
Oh, 3-point contest winners.
Yeah,
Joe Harris, Clay, Dame, and Buddy. Did Buddy win one? Or maybe it's not winners. Maybe it's like hit like 200 threes in a season or something. Or
yeah, that could be.
I think Buddy Hield might have won one. I know that Joe Harris absolutely won one.
Yeah,
and I know that the rest.
And Clay,
I think Buddy Hield might have won it like 3 years ago, or 4 or 5, like a while ago.
I don't know. Maybe.
There's no other good shooter on this list aside from maybe Alvin Robertson.
Yeah, no. That's definitely the category. I'm just not sold on it being like it's definitely those 4 guys. I'm just not sold on it being like 3-point contest winners.
Right.
I can't remember if Buddy won.
Let's see what it is. Yes, sir. Okay. All right, Buddy did win.
All right.
So good to know. All right, so we know that it's 1, 2, 3, and then somebody else. It's probably Hakeem. If it wasn't the other ones, Hakeem had a lot of blocks.
Yeah, I just have no idea what Alvin Robertson does or is.
I looked him up. He's 6'4", so he's a guard at least. I have no idea what him, Nate Thurmond, Kevin McHale, and David Robinson would have in common. But
yeah, it is probably Hakeem. It has to be something.
Maybe it's like 5 blocks in a game, or like David Robinson. Maybe he did in like one of the 1 games he played. I don't know. It is weird though if they have players under 6 feet and then like players above 7 feet on the same one.
Yeah. But it's not just like above 7 feet. Like Wemby, Taco, and Manute Bol are like literally 3 of the tallest players in NBA history.
Yeah. How tall? So David Robinson's actually taller than Hakeem. He's 7'1", and Hakeem is 7 foot.
So maybe it's not that.
Maybe it wasn't. Well, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we did 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
But what if like it isn't like Taco, or it's not?
No. But because it was 1 away for both of those.
Right, but what if it was like these 4 and we just got like unlucky? Because that would be 1 away for both of those as well.
Oh yeah, I guess. But yeah, it could be something with.
We might as well just try it with Hakeem if we've done these 3 with the other 2 bigs on here. I have no clue what Kevin McHale would have done. No! Oh my God, that's also 1 away. Okay.
It has to be those 3 guys, but could it be something with blocks and it's Kevin McHale? Like,
maybe that's to throw you off. Oh wait, okay, but this guy was a Spur. Okay. Wemby's a Spur.
Is it that simple?
I don't know, but David Robinson was Nate Thurmond a Spur?
I have no idea who Nate Thurmond played for.
Like,
I literally could not tell you.
No, he was Warriors, Bulls, Cavs.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Was Manute Bol a Spur?
No, I don't think so. But there's no way that was 1 away for all of those other answers.
Yeah, no, it has to be those 3 guys and one of the other 2. I think. But
it's probably so we've tried literally 1, 2, 3. It's a 50-50 on if it's McHale or Robertson.
Yeah.
But what the hell would a 6'4" guy have in common with these huge?
Yeah.
Huge
no, I feel like it has to be McHale, but like blocks? Was McHale a big blocks guy?
I mean, he's what, like 6'10"? Was he a 3-time defensive first team? I mean,
yeah. I mean,
averaged 1.7 blocks a game in his career. Like it's a good amount of blocks, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess it could be McHale, but like I just feel like Taco couldn't have done it. Like he didn't play enough.
Yeah, honestly, that's crazy. I think we just run it with McHale. It's probably the best option. See it. Yeah. Please. Longest wingspans in NBA history. What?
You're telling me Kevin McHale?
What kind of wingspan does this man have?
How long were these dudes?
He's only 6'10".
That's crazy.
Okay, people say it's 8 feet, apparently 2.4 meters, but that's insane.
Wild. Yeah, that's wild.
Apparently, he has one of the largest wingspans ever. And between him, Manute Bol, Taco Fall, Wemby, and McHale is number 4, tied with Wemby. Can you imagine Kevin McHale having the same wingspan as Wemby?
No, that almost seems impossible.
Tacos is 8'2", and Manute is 8'6".
I mean, that
Wow.
makes sense.
Yeah, Mo Bamba is number 5 on that list. That's funny. All right, and what the heck do these guys have in common?
I mean,
defensive player of the years? Like, I've never heard of Alvin Robertson.
That I've heard his name. That's all I know about him.
Let's see what it is.
And Nate Thurmond, I couldn't tell you anything about.
Oh, players to record a quadruple double.
You're telling me Alvin Robertson recorded a quadruple double?
That's crazy. 4-time All-Star, defensive player of the year in 1986. Dang, maybe I'm a casual. He's the only guard. He's the only guard to ever have recorded a quadruple double.
Holy I guess I need to watch some Alvin Robertson highlights.
Yeah, he was the 7th pick in, was it 1984?
Wow.
Good draft class.
Yeah, 80. Wow. How have I never heard of this guy?
I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, he was drafted after Mel Turpin. And, right after Barkley and all those guys. Dang.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like a casual for not knowing Alvin Robertson. Learn something new every day here on Pass the Rock.
Of course.
And that's going to be our last thing of the day. So, Jack, it's been fun. Everybody else will be back on next Monday with our bracket stream. It's going to be later. It's going to be at 7 o'clock Eastern for our March Madness community bracket. So you better be there or be square.
Thank you.